Winners press conference here. Perfect timing. Inspection's all clear in the garage. We'll start our post-race press conference here at Kansas Speedway following the Hollywood Casino 400. We are joined by our race winner, Joey Logano, driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford. This victory here at Kansas today was his 8th victory in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, 5th victory in 2014, and first victory here at Kansas Speedway. Joey, got a win in each round of the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Your chase is going pretty well, much better than everybody else's thus far this season. So talk about a little bit about your chances going for the championship this year.
I feel good about it. Obviously, everyone at Team Penske and this 22 team in particular has been amazing. We've been working really hard, and Todd and I have been working together as best we can, and I think we've been doing a great job in practice and in understanding what we're going to need in the race and making good adjustments overnight to fire off good when the race starts. So, beginning of the race, we were okay. We weren't great by no means. The car was a little loose, and he tightened it up. I don't think he made many changes after that. And at least, I don't know, he doesn't tell me, he just does it. So it works. I let him do his thing and I do my thing. But, once that top lane kind of rubbered in and, this car just came to life, and we tuned the car to the top after that, and was able to plug along pretty good up there. So this is nice to be able to get this win and get us through the next round. And not have to worry about Talladega coming up. This was important. We came into here thinking we need a solid finish. We can't win the championship today, but we can definitely lose it. So we had to, get 2 solid finishes with Kansas and Charlotte before Talladega, and this is as solid as it gets. So we're excited about our shot to win this championship this year. We just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
Also joining us, Crew Chief Todd Gordon. Todd, obviously in a very good position right now with a win in this round, first race, but also sitting atop the point standings, leading the point standings by 6 points over Kyle Busch. Talk a little bit about your strategy today and where you feel sitting in this championship point standings right now.
Today was a big stress relief. I'll tell you, it's when you look at this segment of the chase, it's with Talladega as the last one. It's a big wild card. So, I felt like this was a place that we could capitalize. We've run well here. Ran well here in the spring, led 63 laps, I think it was, second most to Kevin, and we came back prepared to try to take advantage of that. I think everybody in the Shell Pennzoil team's done an awesome job of preparing good race cars, and Joey communicates great about what he needs to get to be successful. And once he started on that top, he gave us an idea of what we needed, and we adjusted to it, and small adjustments past that.
Also joining us, team owner Roger Penske. Roger, Penske has won 4 of the last 5 races. Obviously a great day for Joey, obviously some challenges with Brad, but overall Penske Racing has certainly dominated a lot of these chase races. Talk a little bit about your team, just overall for the chase for the Sprint Cup this year.
Well, obviously first congratulations to Joey and Todd. I think when you looked at today, we had a good car, qualified well. The 4 was the one we thought we had to beat. I think we were able to stay with them early on and then able to adjust the line, and Joey picked up some speed. But I think the calls that Todd made early on, taking 4 tires, made a big difference. Our pit crew, which we've worked on so hard over the last 2 or 3 months, picked it up. We had some 11-second stops. We were able to do 4 tires when the other guys did 2. I think that made a huge difference. But, overall, he rode a flawless race. Good job in the pits. The Ford motor was never been stronger, so the Pennzoil Ford Fusion was unbelievable. And I think Brad's situation, unfortunately, this is a new tire. We really didn't have a chance to test here, and maybe we were overstressing it, and he lost one, and so did Earnhardt. But he'll be back. This thing isn't easy. As Joey said, if we can get a win here in this the second round, the contender round, it makes a huge difference. But it's a team effort. All our guys back at the shop deserve, guys building the bodies, the engine people. I just can't thank everybody enough for what they've done. And to see Joey come on our team and win the number of races he has, he's a young guy. He's got a huge career with us. We've been able to talk him into staying with us for signed up a little bit longer. So that was another win for us. I guess that might be the momentum we needed. That he had enough confidence in us to sign up for some more time with Penske Racing. So we're excited, and I just want to congratulate you guys for a super job.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for our panel up here. We'll start up front with Todd, then go to Jim.
Joey, I wanted to ask you, I mean, I don't think you'd finished better than 15th here until last fall, and now you've had 3 top 4s. And I mean, is that just part of your career arc and the way you've kind of been coming on, or have you guys figured something out here?
It's funny, we were watching TV after practice and they were showing the stats on TV, and he said my average finish here was like 21st, and I was like, man, the last 2 times here we finished 4th. It must have been really bad here before. It's like, oh, it wasn't very good, but ever since we got here at Team Penske, we've been able to I think Todd and I work really well together in understanding what I need, and then each racetrack's different on what I need in it, but we were able to build a notebook in the first half of the season last year, and now we're working off of that. We know exactly what it takes, and sometimes we're not fast in practice for that reason, but we're able to capitalize when the race starts. So it is funny because I guess I wasn't very good here before, but now it's my favorite track, so it's going good.
All right, we'll take our next question from Jim.
Jim Uttershaw, Observer for Roger. It sort of goes to what you were just talking about. I guess it was just a little over 2 years ago when you guys announced that Joey was joining you. When you look back at what he accomplished in his first season last year and what Joey and Todd are now at this point this year, can you just talk about Joey's development a little bit as a driver and the 22 team in general?
Well, the first word I'd use is amazing. I think that, the team here, and, when Joey came on board, we had to decide who would be the crew chief. Todd had such a great record with us on the nationwide. It was like we did with Paul and Brad. He was the right guy. I think they have come together. To me, Joey was a great driver. I have to thank J.D. and Joe for giving him the time, kind of getting it ready for us. So probably have to send him a check. But kind of got him ready, and he jumped on the team. But I'd have to say that Brad was one of the key people that said, hey, this is a guy we got to have. And he talked to Joey, and, it takes team effort on a lot of these things. So I think Joey has matured. He's certainly a team player. He's got a great sponsor in Shell Pennzoil. They love him, and I think what we have to do is Todd and the rest of us give him the car. You could see it today that he can run up front with the best, and to me, with the 2 people we have, I wouldn't trade him.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob.
Bob Pocker, Sporting News. Roger, what do you tell the 2 team and Brad, and kind of what are your feelings after seeing them have such a strong start to the chase and now kind of have a little bit of hole to dig out of?
Well, Brad came to the winner's circle. It's the kind of guy he is. It was just one of those things. And when you see the 48 and the 88 and the 2 going in the garage area, this is a tough sport. And to me, he's only 12 points out, I think, of 8th, whatever it is. And, we got 2 more races. We know we got good cars. We've tested at Charlotte. So we got to focus on Charlotte. I mean, these races, when they're over, they're over. And I think at this point, it's for us to do what we can. Obviously, we'll do whatever we can to help him. The whole team will. But the thing we can't do is make a big right or left turn here. We got to stay on the same track we're on.
Okay, we're going to go upstairs for a question, then we'll come back down. Go ahead upstairs.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. For Roger, do you get any sense that the success of the IndyCar team kind of pushes the NASCAR team and vice versa? And have you given any thought what it would be to be the first owner that could possibly pull off the IndyCar and Cup championship in the same year?
Well, I think what we've done, I got to give it the credit to Tim Cindric of pulling the 2 series together, both the IndyCar team and the NASCAR team together under one roof. I think that's paid well for us because we have fabricators, we have engineering people, we get to trade information. It's not exactly the same. I think you see how the 42's running. I'm sure that there's some insight there from Ganassi's team. It's amazing. Here we're racing him today, and we raced him, 4 or 5 weeks ago in the last race. But look, from an overall standpoint, I'm focusing race to race, and we got some things. We got the Owners Championship and Nationwide. We've got this obviously, but they're ours to lose. So I think we got to focus on where we are, and this is getting the 2 in and getting into that next round with both cars, and it'll be exciting. But certainly not. It's not in my eyesight right now for sure.
Any further questions upstairs? Okay, we'll take our next question from Scott in the back.
Scott Traylor, Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. This question is for Todd. Todd, we've seen a lot of right front flats today. 2 car obviously had a problem. Would you say that that's a tire issue, a geometry issue, a pavement issue, and were you running nearly the same as the two car on your front setup?
Yeah, I would say, you know, with the package that we've got right now, you know, we've got so much downforce, and this place being recently repaved, I think, mid-season 2012. You come here and speeds are incredible, and loads on tires are phenomenal. And you know, it's such a tough box to be in, and there's you know, it's the risk and reward that we play as crew chiefs, because you can play it safe, but the speed, the performance of the tire is near failure. That's just the nature of the beast. And I think as you look at it, we all had a chance to tune our race cars on days that were quite a bit cooler than what the race was today, in grooves that weren't where the race was today. I think you saw the racetrack move itself up the racetrack today, but I don't know if that's affected some different teams. It's a tough situation to be in, because we play that balance, and that's ultimately our call as crew chiefs and the engineers and stuff, as to how aggressive we want to be and where we can be. I think you know, was I concerned? I was a little concerned, obviously, when you see issues. The piece that we look to is you know, as Joey talked about, our notebooks, and we have notebooks of where we've been and how we've been, and we pay particular attention to pieces of tire durability as well. So I felt good about where we were as far as the, you know, risk and reward of that balance coming forward. As to where the two and we were, I mean, we know what our offsets are. We race pretty similarly. We communicate a lot, and we knew where we were. I can't speak for how their failure happened and what happened. That's not, you know, come race time, I'm focused on the 22 car. But, you know, it's unfortunate to see it. I look for Paul and Brad to bounce back next week and have a strong showing at Charlotte, where they won last year in the chase.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Lewis, then go to Stan.
Louis Frank of Reuters. Roger, you kind of touched upon this with talking about bringing the teams together, the IndyCar teams and the NASCAR teams and Tim Cindric. But while you were competitive in years past, now your two-car team the last 3 years, you know, has been championship contending. Is there any other factors you believe that allows your two-car team to take on these 3- and 4-car teams?
I just think it's the human capital. It's the people that we've been able to attract. As we got some speed and we got some success, we've been able to attract. And also we started really what you'd say the farm team with a Nationwide, and we're able to bring people. The key people on the team there are folks that have come up through the organization, and I think that's been key. And where we can, we'll bring someone in that might have expertise we don't have on the team, but it's a pretty solid foundation. I'd say it starts what we did with the Nationwide, where we had the success, and you see Wolf, you see Brad, you see Todd, and you see obviously Joey, and I think that's been a big factor.
Stan Creekmore with Competition Plus. Joey, at any time during those closing laps, did you feel like everybody in front of me has had a problem, I'm going to have a problem? And Roger, is there anyone else in your career that you can look at and say, you know what, when I had those two drivers, I had something as good as Keselowski and Joey Logano are showing them to be to me?
Well, we've had a lot of great drivers, and I can't probably when I had Mears and Unser, you know, at the same time, you might say those were pretty special guys. This just comes off the top of my head, but I just think that we're in a position today because we focused on two cars, and we can get things done faster. You know, our guys back at the shop, we're building new cars every week. We see stuff on the other cars, you know, we're trying to be consistent in the quality, and I'll tell you, the engine guys have really stepped up too, because Hendricks has got such great power, and that's made a big difference. This is a track that, you know, showed how good the Ford engine was today too. So, look, we got great drivers, great chiefs, so, you know, I think we got to be careful not to trip over our press clippings here today and get on to the next race.
Yeah, you know, when I see other chase guys, you know, having troubles, you know, that's when you say, holy cow, this is really all about a solid finish today. You know, and really you start thinking about it because you know how the race goes. A second, third, fourth, fifth place finish would be great. That sets you up pretty good for getting to the next round. But you dangle a checker flag in front of me, I'm going to go. And, we were able to have a fast enough car that I knew we can do it. And, I wasn't going to put my car in a bad spot, but I was going to be aggressive about it and try to put other people in a bad spot to make those passes. And we were able to do that today. So, yeah, you think about it. You see other cars that are having troubles and guys you're going to be racing for this championship with. And, it goes through your mind. But at the same time, you got to keep doing what we've been doing all year, and that's been trying to win the race and not points racing. So we'll keep trying to do that.
Okay, we got another question in the back. Go ahead.
Diane Cox from the Advantage News. Congratulations on the win today. I do have a question for both Joey and Todd. You've raced under a couple different chase formats now. Are you fond of this chase format? And do you think going for the win more than consistency, does it put more stress personally on you as a driver and you as a crew chief? Is it more stressful, or, like with today's success, you're able to relax a little bit more for the next round?
It's definitely not less stress. I can promise you that. I think it just depends on, what shoes you're in. You look at the first 4 races, we have an average finish of 2.5. At that point, you don't ever want to see points washed away. So you want to run that all the way to the end. But the fact is, it's not like that this year. We need to, be able to get wins like this to keep us going on to the next round. And, it's going to get washed away. It's like that for anybody. But, if I was in a different position, and you just make it in, so you're 8th and you just make it in, you're going to want the points washed out and have a shot at it. So it just all depends on where we're at. Right now, obviously, we don't want the points washed away, but it is what it is. Someday we might want it the other way around. But either way, we just got to keep focused in on what we're doing. To win this championship, you still have to be consistent. And fortunately enough that this 22 team's been consistently fast and running up front, and that's what we got to do, throughout all of Team Penske.
Yeah, it's
How much you sleep last night?
Yeah, that was I didn't. But there's a lot of stress to it. I think it's, obviously you can make arguments for any situation we're in. I think there's a lot of opportunity in this format, and it rivals what other sports have got. Where an underdog team or somebody, you looked at the 47 and 43, and they had a shot of getting it because they did it, and it's no different than a wild card making it in the football playoffs or whatever else. So I think it forces performance, and that's the piece. It's not. It rewards wins and performance, and to the point that Joey talked about, I think there's always, if you look at it, you're going to wish that the guys that have had really good success will want the old system back. But we're at the point now where we get to be one of the 8 when we get to Martinsville. So in that sense, the wild card at Talladega is from a crew chief standpoint, the wild card at Talladega is something it's on your radar from the start of the chase in the old format. So we get to go and play a little different there and work forward and know that come Martinsville we're in that segment, and we got to perform. We just got to continue to. Joey mocks me on this, but we've got to continue to do what we do, and that's the thing that we talked about. We
That's
try
how many
not.
times I've heard it.
Yeah, we can't change up how we approach races. We've been successful all season, and we've all talked about it on the team that we just continue to do what we do and see where it falls out. But I think it's exciting because wins are rewarded and stellar performance is rewarded.
Yeah, I think we had a question here. Whichever one of you had the question, raise your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dominic Ottagon with TheRacingExperts.com. Question for Todd. So with this being your 5th win of 2014 and 6th as a crew chief, just kind of want to ask you, what's your overall perspective on the season and kind of where this win ranks for you as a crew chief in your career?
Huge. It's when you have a win that we've had some phenomenal wins this year. I think when you look through it, I can tell you that every race we've won has had some special features to it. You go backwards. This one's huge because it puts you through the next round. Loudon was huge because that's a place that we purely struggled in 2013. We went there and tested twice because we went to Loudon last year in the chase and said, if we come out here with 15th place finish, we'll be all right. And we won there this year. So you can go back through them and say everyone's special. But I flew home from this racetrack when my youngest daughter was born. I was here and I missed her birth because I was here at the racetrack. So the racetrack kind of owed me a little bit of something, and I got it back today.
Owed your wife something.
She's a tough girl. But yeah, my wife talked about it actually coming here this weekend. That she hates Kansas because it's a moment in her life. But I think she'll change that tune now. Ashlyn, she turns 10 here this week.
All right, we'll take our next question. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Roger, you kind of touched on this already, but, I'm Jim Pilley with RacingToday.com. You kind of touched on this already, but you just recently announced that you're going to add a 4th IndyCar driver for next year. Would you consider expanding your Cup operation, or is 2 the right number for you guys?
Well, obviously, we've got a little different program in IndyCar where the cars, are pretty much the same, and we don't have to have the development that you have here. And I think, from a budget perspective, what we've decided to do is do a technical agreement with the 21 car for next year and put Ryan Blaney in there. And if that could, we could produce a young man there that could join us at some point, that would be an option. But at this point, our plan in 2015 is to continue with the 2-car team.
All right, we'll take our next question from Todd, then go to Bob.
Joey, I kind of like Todd, I wanted to ask, you've got 8 wins now, 5 this season. Where does this win rank for you, especially considering some of the struggles you'd had here before?
I agree with Todd. It's big because it gets us to the next round. That's big. A few weeks ago, Loudon was probably the biggest win of my career because it's home racetrack for me. I've sucked there forever, so found somewhere I was good at. It gave me a car that I was able to drive and had some speed in, and that was very rewarding because we worked so hard. And like Todd said, we had 2 tests there, and we still weren't very good. And we've just watched a lot of films, doing a lot of things, talked about it a lot. What do we need? How do we go fast here? And and being able to conquer that racetrack was probably the biggest win for me. But I think of other wins that were big. I think a few years back when we won at Pocono, that was a career moment for me because I was kind of out. I didn't know where I was going to be. So that was kind of a big career moment for me to win that race and keep my career going. And then, who'd think, win 5 races in 1 year. Like, that is so cool that we're able to do that. It's a dream come true. It's a dream season so far. We just got to keep finishing it off. But, it was my career's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but we're riding the upswing right now and having a lot of fun with it.
All right, we'll go to Bob, then take our final question from the press box.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. For both Joey and Todd, if you experiment with anything at Charlotte, is it more applicable to Texas or Homestead?
Charlotte's a beast of its own. I feel like, and it's funny because you can look at Texas and Charlotte and say, wow, they're like the same racetrack, but they're not. You can look at, really Homestead and Texas are closer than Charlotte is to Texas or Homestead. So, we were able to test there because we knew it was going to be a very important race for us in this round to be able to get through to the next one. So we spent some time there and trying to understand what we need to make our race car go fast there. And I feel like we're able to take some good things out of it, but it's definitely a beast of its own for sure. What do they call it? The beast of the Southeast, don't they call it that or something like that? They have a few mottos. Whatever, it's a tough track to get your car to handle right, and I know that much because you look at turn 1, the way the cars land into that corner, and then the way the sun always beats down turn 3, and the track, how big the transitions are from day to night, and having all that stuff, and having a little bit bigger of a notebook from going testing there at that racetrack that's tough is good to have for sure. And I felt like it was maybe one of our weaker racetracks earlier in the year, so we need to test there and to get better.
Final question from the press box.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. For Joey, does Will winning on the IndyCar side put any more pressure on you to want to win the championship?
I just want to win. Yeah, we want to. Obviously, the IndyCar side, they did their job already. They're done. They've done a great job. Now it's our job. We have 2 more championships to win, not just the Sprint Cup championship, but we want to win that Nationwide Owners Championship. So we got to keep plugging away with that. I got a couple more races in that right now as far as the plan, and I see Todd's laughing at me. I just want to race. I like racing, but you know, it'd be a dream come true to win a championship in this series. But to get Roger 2 in a year and hopefully 3 in a year would be awesome. You know, for me only being here a couple of years, that would be you know, kind of a dream come true to you know, give Roger something that you know, he hasn't done before, and that would be pretty neat to do.
Gentlemen, congratulations on making it to the eliminator round.
Thank you.
Good
Appreciate
luck
it.
next week. Thank you.